Hey you guys, it's Miss Alexander, and today we're working on Module 6, Lesson 13. We've turned in a 2-day thing, so we're on our second day from Engage New York. Our objective is to add decimal numbers by converting to fraction forms. Now, if you need to, go ahead and pause. Here are vocabulary words that we're working with for this assignment. I'm going to keep moving on. So here are the steps we need. We're going to rewrite the number sentence in fraction form. We're going to convert the tenths to hundredths. We're going to add the fractions. We're going to convert any improper fraction to mixed number, and then rewrite the fraction as a decimal. Here is a place value chart in case you need to remember how to write the fraction and decimals for tenths and hundredths. Let's go look at our example. It says solve by rewriting the number sentence in fraction form. After solving, rewrite the complete number sentence in decimal form. So we have 7 3/10. So we need to write that in fraction form. So I'm going to have 7 as a whole number and 3/10. And if you look, we are adding. And then we have 95 hundredths. So I'm going to put 95. I'm going to put it over 100. And the first thing I see is that I've got two denominators that aren't the same. And I've learned that in order to add fractions, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to bring down my 7 3/10, and I'm going to multiply it by some number to equal some number over 100. Now, do you see this 7? I'm going to put it right here next to the equal sign, only because it's just coming along. I'm not changing that. I'm changing the fraction. So I see that 10 times some number equals 100, and I know that's 10. So what I do the bottom, I do the top. So now I get 3 times 10. So right here, I'm going to do 3 times 10, which I know is 30. Now I'm going to add this fraction and this fraction. So I'm going to have 7 30 hundredths, and I'm going to add 95 hundredths, which equals, first thing I'm going to do is going ahead, bringing over my 7. Okay? And then I'm going to add the 30 and the 95. I know 5 plus 0 is 5, but 9 plus 3 is 12. So right there is 125 over 100. Now we have a mixed number, but our fraction part of the mixed number is an improper fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 125 over 100. And remember how we did this before. How many hundreds can I pull out of 125? So I'm going to do 100 over 100, and I'm going to add. And how many do I have left? Yes, I have 25 over 100 left, which equals 1 25 hundredths. And now I get to add it to my 7. So I get to add 7. So I see I have a 1 and a 7. I add that to get an 8. And then I have 25 over 100. And yes, I know you noticed my mistake. It's supposed to be 100, not 200. So I have 8 and 25 over 100. So I'm going to take that fraction, and I'm going to turn it in to a decimal. So 8 and 25 over 100 equals 8 and 25 hundredths. Just like that. Let's go look at one more problem. We have 6 and 37 hundredths and 7 and 7/10. So I have 6 and 37 over 100. Oops, I keep putting 200, you guys. Typos today. And then I'm going to do 7 and 7/10. And again, I'm seeing that I've got fractions, and I know to add fractions, I need a common denominator. And right now I have 110. So that will not work to have 100 and then the next one be 10. So I'm going to take the 7 7/10. I'm bringing it down. And remember, I'm going to multiply the fraction only by some fraction, which equals a whole number. to equal some fraction over 100. So this 7, I'm going to put right here next to my equal sign because I've got to bring it over. So 10 times what number gives me 100? I know that is 10. So right here, I'm going to do 10 over 10. Remember, what you do the bottom, you do the top. And I do 7 times 10, which gives us 70. So I'm going to take this mixed number and add it to this mixed number. So I have 6 and 37 hundredths plus 7 and 70 hundredths, which equals, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my whole numbers, you guys, because those are like terms. So I'm going to do 7 plus 6, which gives me 13, and then 37 hundredths plus 70 hundredths. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. So I know 7 plus 0 is 7, and then 7 plus 3 is 10. And I get to put that over 100. Now remember, I have this improper fraction, so I need to change it. So right now I'm going to take 107, put it over 100. How many times can I pull out 100 from 107? Great job. Yes, I can pull out 1. And how much do I have left over? 7 is correct. Great job, you guys. So right here I have 1 whole with 7 over 100. But I get to add another whole because that's 13. So right here, I have 1 plus 13, which gives us 14 with 7 hundredths. And now I'm going to take that 14 and 7 over 100 and turn that into 14 and 7 hundredths. Now look at that. It's saying 7 hundredths. I don't have 2 digits in the numerator. So that means I have no tenths digit. So I'm going to put a 0 and then a 7. And then right up here, I write 1407. I don't think I did that on the first one, but please make sure you do write your answers in. Let's go fix my mistake. So as you're doing this, make sure you have fun. Make sure you're taking your time. Follow the steps because they're written there for you, and just have fun. Remember, smile, giggle, and wiggle. I'll talk with you later. Bye.